cannot imagine my parents when they were when I fix school and whatever situation
This is your main job.
yeah, this is one of my main things.
One of. Hey. Okay.
Yeah, no, after that.
Authentic Reflections with Lisecha Senosha.
One of the sponsors over here that actually sat down to say, you know what, let me join this thing, let me do something to help the people. We have right here next to me, we have Simply Motsoka, which is a very good company that is dealing in the health department, helping other companies with their business analysis and everything. And right here next to me, we have the founder, director, Muyatapili, the one and only Motsoka right here. Hi, how are you?
I'm good and you.
Awesome.
Good. I love that introduction.
I try my best. So
thank you.
Right. So you said you are Motsoka. Your surname?
Mudau.
Mudau.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Which tribe are you from?
Before marriage or after?
Before.
Okay, before marriage I'm Tsonga. Mara, I was raised in the Bapedi culture, so Kubulela Spedi. A lot.
Yeah.
And I'm married in the Venda clan.
Oh.
So the Kwambati.
Ha! Mokombach Venda. That's the only thing I know.
Trust me, I don't know much myself, but I know what I can know. Maroka sense Vegas Venda Gasava Hut.
Wasiko. Marosibola ke matata.
What Kwambati? Mara a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Okay, so this is Authentic Reflections with Lisecha
I love the name Authentic.
Right?
I love
Yeah.
it, yeah.
We go from the beginning of your life up until where you are now, because your story can definitely go a long way.
Okay.
Now let's start here. Right, like with everyone that comes here, we want to know, where are you from? Where were you born and stuff like that?
Okay, so I was born from Limpopo. I'm a girl from Limpopo. I stayed in Limpopo, I think, until the age of 8.
Where?
Bochum, Marabiani.
Oh, Bochum. I'm from Buckenberg.
Oh, to Buckenberg.
Okay.
Marabiani, clinicking right
Yeah.
next door. That's where I'm from.
Oh.
And then I went to Seshego. I do like Seshego was on 2 for some time. Then I moved to Tembisa. So Tembisa is where I literally, from the age of 10 until varsity, that's where I was.
Wow. Okay, from the age of 10, you were in Tembisa.
Yeah, let's just say from 8, 9, then I was there. I'm still young, I can't really remember when, but I know her from the age of 9.
Okay, that is proper. So I just wanted to know that, Seshego is a very different area.
Yeah.
So since it was just early in the ages, then it means you might have not acquired, the trends now.
No. I mean,
there's bad things there. Who, Seshego?
I'm a pastor, by the way. Hey,
Oh.
yeah, so
Okay. But
disclaimer.
we know that pastors come from somewhere.
Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about business. Let's talk about
Come
business.
on now. Don't be afraid now. The thing is, sometimes knowing the person behind the business, knowing where you come from and how you worked on changing it can actually go a long way. Because someone might be in that phase you were in, and then you are actually showing them how you got out of it.
Yeah.
So it can be something that you just brush around it and move on. So you went to high school in Tembisa.
Yeah.
Which high school was it?
Tembisa High.
Tembisa High.
Yeah.
How was it then?
It was a good school. I mean, it's the biggest high school of Tembisa.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was one of their top students. You know? So, but Tembisa students, they are still there. I mean, obviously, my crew is already out.
Yes.
But yeah, Kitsani Tembisa Primary School, and then that was primary, and then Tembisa. And then from there, I went to study go. Back in the day, it was before UJ, TWR. Yeah. Then I was the first group to graduate under University of Johannesburg.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
And then,
so when did you matriculate?
2004, I think, or 5. It's a while back. I know my looks can be deceiving. No? I'm telling you, Munna. And I studied what you studied. I heard one of you
I'm studying IT, he's studying computer science.
Yeah, I studied IT as well.
Oh.
And then from there I did my BTech. And then obviously there's more stuff afterwards.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you want to take a good guess, or when you matriculated, how old was I?
No, I wouldn't know.
Take a good guess.
Probably when you were still in diapers. I don't know.
Yeah, I was 2 years old.
Oh my god. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then, like in those days, like there was a lot of poverty and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Getting to an institution of high learning, it was no child's play and everything. So
Not true.
how did you do it?
Well, like I said, I just had to push through to study. My parents are not doctors, sorry. Doctor is husband.
Okay.
My parents are teachers, but they are retired now. So I literally, obviously, was trained to focus on my studies.
Yeah.
And being the only girl with young brothers, I'm the firstborn, so I had no choice, but I had to succeed in what I'm doing. So I didn't compromise. My books were everything.
Yeah.
So and then obviously varsity no sina chelete. And then it was NEFSAs, obviously NEFSAs in those days, I don't know like now. And Nekikrele Bazari, by the way. But it didn't really work out with the company that was sponsoring me.
Okay.
So luckily for me, I just pushed with my studies, and my grades were always good. So yeah, NEFSAs took me all the way. And then when I started working, I had to repay it back, as you know, you have to pay. Yeah, so the journey of varsity was that.
That was that.
Yeah,
but
and then I did other things after,
You're not telling us about,
What?
did you groove me?
I did, Mara honestly, but I must say I really did. Mara, not too much. It was just that thing where I've always assessed where I spend my time. I've been just that child.
Okay.
So Mugruve
Pastor's child.
No. My parents are not pastors. Pastor Kidilozano. Still early stages. Yeah, still early stages.
So you did groove, but you didn't do it that much. It was just here and there. So I want to know what pushed you out of it, like.
Yeah, what pushed me out of what?
Groove and everything like that.
Look, it wasn't my thing. I would go when my friends were hurry, but I wouldn't out of my way just. Honale party, somebody had to come and say, okay, let's go. And I'll have to detect, or do I feel like it or not? But it was really not in my nature.
So you decided, I'm living all this life and then focusing on...
Yes, I needed to make sure that I succeed, because I had to make sure that my brothers that come after me, obviously you look at the situation at home. And by the way, my high school and... my mother started working when I was in varsity. So that whole period, it was just one parent working. And that was a teacher, you can imagine.
Yes.
With 3 kids and all that. So yeah, I had to make sure for because I believe that education is one of the most important tool you can ever have. Because these days, yes, you have to have it.
You can't even speak the English.
You can't speak the English, you can't present yourself, I know now we've got social media and everything, but a skill is something that is very unique. Nobody can take it from you. I understand. So
okay. So you did IT.
Yes.
In UJ, now called UJ.
Yeah.
But when you went there in the olden days. But anyways, I want to know, like, why did you choose IT? Because I'm in IT right now, and I chose it because of influence. I want to know you.
No, for me, IT wasn't my first preference. Obviously, I was literally, somebody had to present it to me. My first choice was medicine. And then second choice was to go and become a lawyer, and obviously those two didn't work out. So I was literally somebody not anything about computers. I mean, back then we didn't even have computer labs. So there was a guy who came from our high school from the US who came, and then I assisted him to set up computers and everything. Then he started really introducing this IT concept. Because back then we never really had a lot of people coming to tell us about different careers and all. You had to really figure it out yourself. And I watched a lot of TV, so that's how I learned about quite a lot of things. Mara IT was never something that was on my table. So the guy really presented to me, he showed me, look, with this thing, you learn about computers, you learn about programming, you learn about a lot of things, and you literally become the person that gets responsible for building systems. So it was a beautiful thing.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. Okay. That is proper. I feel like we're going to get more serious now.
Let's get serious. I love
Yeah,
that.
we're going to get more serious now. But, okay. So, I want to know, immediately after matric, you went to university?
Yeah.
Immediately after?
Yeah, immediately. My results, I believe, were great, and God's grace. I can't take all the credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got in. And it back in the days, I can see right now, but we would stand on queues. Niggas apply, by the way, matric, because there was no money. So there was no hope you'll go to school. And then when the bursary company came in, I think that what was motivating, because parties and everything. And now it's about check a situation or so you know what, let me see what will happen. But yeah, that was it was a very tough period. Nothing was handed over. And whatever now varsity, from studying from the college arena, you're not exposed to other things where when the lab, this, you don't really know much.
See a projector. Oh,
and honestly, I'm a bit streetwise, so I had to learn by watching others as well.
Wow. That is proper. So now that was life after matric. Now I want to know life immediately after varsity.
Okay.
What did you do? Did you get a job immediately? Like how? Like when you're there, how did you cope?
Okay, so when you studied IT, you have your third year project that you need to do and present. Because now it still happens.
It happens at UJ, but here at TUT. It does happen. Yes, it does.
Yeah, so that was our opportunity. So me and the group of the guys that I did a project, because part of our project, we actually designed a medical system. Hey,
okay.
Yeah, we designed. Yeah, exactly. We designed a medical system, and I catch us nearly for medical aids. Yeah, it was a system for medical aids. You go through the whole cycle of how to build a system. You get the requirements, you scope everything, you do all your test models. So how it happened is, the day of the presentation, there were companies there that our varsity had organized to get the third year students to come and present. And through the team, I was the presenter. So I took them through the system, and they were asking questions. Obviously, the other two guys were also there. So we were all privileged. I think two of us, we got a job opportunity from CELC.
Wow.
And obviously, well, not at the spot. They liked what we did, and we were called for interviews. And then obviously when we went for interviews, those that made it, we got our letters. So the following year, I knew exactly where I was going.
You went to work for CELC?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where the career started. Yeah.
Wow, that is awesome. What were you doing for CELC?
I think the first year I was an intern, so we rotated between different departments. I think a 3 months rotation. So I ended up being in the tech support. So after the 12 years now, once the period ended, I obviously got selected to be offered a permanent job. Obviously there were other contenders and all of those things. So I was just privileged that, like, the same principles of being focused, even in it, I was. And by then, I was starting to also understand the things of God a bit. So I believe also in that state of mind that God also opened the door.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I did the work.
You did the work.
I did the work, no shortcuts.
You followed what you promised God that you're going to do.
Yes, no shortcuts. And I could not imagine my parents even when I fitla sekolong wa raloka and wa tseba situation ko gae o re byang. So it's just, I'm just that person. I just don't.
You're serious.
Yeah.
When you see things, you want to make things happen.
I just like to make
you don't
things
like playing around.
No, I don't. I'm just a different type.
I know that is actually a proper way of being, because in this day and age, why are the serious people? People are always jiving, commenting and everything, but
TikTok. And look, I go out and have fun, but it's just not. There's nothing wrong with having
it's budgeted.
Fun. Yeah, like I think for me, time is everything. I rather, like, now I'm married and with kids, so how I use my time is important. But back in the days, like, I would do it if really friends came and say it's not something out of my way. I'll say, "Monatuko guy, no, it would never." Yeah, so I really hope there's still people who can still try, and because the balance is very important, because building a career, it's something that you have to make a decision every single day, you know. So yeah.
Wow. That is a good one. So now, working for Cell C, how long did you work for Cell C? And after Cell C, what happened?
I think I worked maybe 3 years, counting the internship, I think 3 years. And then obviously from there, I moved to another telecoms industry company. I think it was T-Systems. Then I ended up, obviously, I went abroad.
Yeah.
I worked outside a little bit to consult.
Uh-huh.
And then I came back to the country, and then I ended up with another company called Vodacom. Then
Okay.
I worked with Vodacom for some time. I think with Vodacom, that's where I learned quite a lot, and I stayed there the longest. I maneuvered between departments. I started in the billing space, where we really used to, work in the billing department and doing different things in there. I mean, by that time, you're matured. You're no longer a junior now. You're a senior, you know, and obviously now you're working with other people that are more educated or more skilled. It's just a fun environment, you know. So yeah, that was the career journey.
Wow.
Summary of the career journey.
Wow. Okay. That is proper. Now, are you still working for Vodacom right now, or you left them?
No, I left.
What is your current job, except for this? Is this your main job?
Yeah, this is one of my main things.
One of. Hey. Okay.
Yeah, no, after that, look, obviously, remember the career part. Okay, so I've always wanted to be in business. I'm not a guru in the business spaces yet, so I'm aspiring to get to that level.
Yes,
but I think I took my skills from studying IT, what I did in corporate, and then I packaged it as a service income. That's when now the business aspects came in. So I still do what I did in corporate, but now I do it under my own umbrella.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so now you're rendering a service to other companies. You're not working under there.
No, I'm not.
No, that is proper. I want to get to that point as well. This thing of companies employing you, they don't pay you enough. But when you come as a company, they pay you very well.
Yeah, look, I mean, it depends on what's your why. You know, obviously that statement is great, but what is the value of money? You need skill. You need skill. And I'm not saying you don't start a company as well, but I think there must be a balance, because you find there are people who start a business and they don't know anything about even just to write a CV. Just to write their own CV. Okay, write what is your service. They can't write it because you were not yet exposed. So I still say I'm old school. If you get an opportunity to go and work for someone, take it and go and learn a little bit, and just because you need that foundation. Without the foundation, sometimes it becomes tricky, because now I run my own businesses that are still struggling as much as the experienced person. Business is a bit different. However, remember, it depends on what you're offering. If you are doing a business where you are maybe a supplier, you are buying, material from someone and you're selling it, it's different to a service business. So in the space that I'm in, the business is the skill. So I'm speaking in that context, because I'm offering still business analysis services, business optimization. We do billing, we do systems design. We do quite a lot of things for in the medical space, So it would never happen if I didn't have the skill, So I had to first go through the process and say, okay, now that I'm no longer in the 8 to 5, what can I do with what I used to do into my 8 to 5 and package it into a service? I just niched it into the medical space.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. So did you become a pastor before starting this business, or did you start this business and later became a pastor?
I've been a pastor now for probably 5 to 6 months. So obviously the business has been around for 2.5 years. So no, I didn't. But I've been a saved child of Christ for a very long time. So actually,
when did you get saved?
I got saved in 2010, but I can tell you the journey was not proper. And then I recommitted myself to Christ not so long ago again, just to make sure that I iron myself properly. But in my space of being in that space, I learned quite a lot. I went education-wise to Bible schools. I'm still in another Bible school right now as we speak.
Okay.
So it's a process.
Like, what pushed you out? Like in the first place, I agree you
Oh yeah.
joined in 2010 and then
It's
things
not
got messy.
maybe
What was happening?
pushing out is not the right word. I was still a Christian, but I wasn't fully, like, if I had to give it 100%, so maybe we could say 70, because I still had the element of the flesh and me being, in it. So I'm talking about now being 100% fully now, where you no longer can go and say, "Wait a king, in that language," like, let's say I'm going to a party now, one new and everything.
Yeah.
So that's where the separation of that took place now.
Wow. Okay, so fast forward, you went back into religion and everything. So now tell me, Gore, like, how do you become a pastor then? As a person, how does one get ordained?
I think being a pastor is not something you choose. I think God has to ordain you. So in my case, it was that. And I never woke up and said, I'm just going to be a pastor today. It took a lot of priests, real rooted men and women of God who have been praying. I guess it's a gift that has always been in me that I never knew. And yeah, it was just multiple people coming and say, you are a pastor. And obviously the person that I'm married to, he's a pastor himself. So it was just a combination. Yeah, we are pastors, guys. Yeah. And like I'm saying, you can't wake up and decide. I think anybody that decides themselves or they're going to be a pastor, they are not called by Christ, because Christ must call you. There's a certain gift that you were born with, and obviously if you are in the right space with the right people and your cover is proper, and God will send people that will assist you and guide you, because it came to me without me even thinking, oh, pastor. So that's why I'm saying it's still something new, and I'm being in the schooling and the training of now how to actually do this pastoral thing proper, because I've been a Christian for a long time, so yeah.
Wow. Now we are into the Bible. Yeah. Before we get into the Bible, I feel like that's what we're supposed to end in, because we have to leave them with a note, because everyone who was coming here today, they left people with a note. But anyways,
because everything is by the grace and the mercy of Christ, guys.
Right.
It's not my own strength or smartness, There's a force behind.
I want to come to this. Simply Motsoka. Like, why? Like, how did it start? Then?
It was an inspiration from a neurologist that I assisted. So there's a medical practitioner that I helped, a neurologist. Basically, he was studying a practice without really having any resources to start. All he had was his education and obviously the skill from practicing. Then I obviously offered to come in and assist them in making sure that I set up the office, from infrastructure, making sure that they get, their table, their desks, the whole thing, and assisted in recruitment of the staff, training of the staff. You hire people that sometimes they know how to do the work, but they really don't have processes. So what we specialize in is business optimization, where we'll take a practice, and basically write all the processes that they need to know what they're supposed to do. And then we train the administrators in the office on how to do their work, and we help them in creating the documentation process. So for example, if you are sick and somebody's answering the phone, they need to conduct themselves in a particular way. And when you are received in the practice, there's a process that they must follow themselves. So we focus more on the process engineering side of that. And then we also offer services where we assist your medical practitioners with their accounts as well. So we will be the ones that are doing all their accounts, or we train their staff if they want their accounts to be done in-house. And then if not, if you're a medical practitioner that you already have that, we can come in and do a health check to come and see how's your practice performing, because you could be working and making money, but you're actually not making a profit. Your practice is not growing as a business. So we are the ones that will come and do that assessment and try and help you where there's a gap, and then refocus you as a medical practitioner. And then if you are a newer doctor, we also assist you to start from scratch. Obviously, we help you to scope your business plan, for example, so that you have some sort of a direction of, "Look, I want to go and practice Komalamulela, for example." So we need to do that entire feasibility and understanding if you've got the competition in that area. And we also work with other companies on marketing, because we find that there are people who also go out to market practices for doctors. So we collaborate with those services as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what are the struggles of building a business, Vel?
Hey, building a business, I think you first have to be a visionary. You need to know what is it that you are looking for and your why. For me, my why is important because the vision has to lead you, has to be your direction.
What's your why?
My one, I want to help medical practitioners to really run successful businesses and take the profits of their business and do other things with them. And it also allows them not to be working full time. So that was my why. And also, I think being surrounded by the medical doctors, I just saw them, I see them as people that really work very hard and they're not getting enough rest. So I thought, why not? I've got the skill to optimize their practice so that they can still work, but not worry about their operations. So I'm offering the operational services to them. And in exchange, we get to also do a proper assessment to see how we can fit best them if they want to bring, let's say, locums into their practice. Because you find that sometimes they are working with someone that is not in alignment with the vision of the practice. So it's a combination of a lot of things. And I'm also in the property space, which is an extension to this.
Rest,
I'm
man.
telling you.
Hey, rest.
It's the
You want to be
extension
everywhere now.
No, I'm a property. I'm a. You guys, you know that as an agent, I'm an agent, but we are called property practitioners. I'm a qualified property practitioner.
Ooh.
I can sell your house right now. And then I take the profits and then reinvest them.
Wow.
You know, so yeah.
Okay, I know you have for someone who did IT, you're spreading into many ventures and even people who did business even people who did business what and all of those things, real estate agent and stuff, they haven't reached that level yet.
Yeah, no, look, that's another industry that's very tough. But the real estate agency part is actually the one fraction. I'm more inclined and I love being the investor. That's where actually my hardest strength is. But obviously an investor, you don't go to and get a qualification for it. So I'm a certified and a licensed property practitioner, which means I can sell your house. And then I take the profits of the sale and then I now use them to become an investor.
Okay.
Then I'll use that to come and buy a house or any property that makes sense in terms of numbers.
I know, that is proper. And you know what? Since you are into business and everything, what you just said is something very, very, very good. And it deserves a poo. But I don't have a poo. Please buy one for me. I need a poo.
I love that a lot.
Buy one for me.
I don't know what it looks like.
But anyways, I really love how optimistic you are, just going not closing other doors for yourself.
No,
you're opening
never.
everything.
I think, look, and it's so strange. Sometimes you get people saying, you're a woman, you're married, why are you doing so many things and what? But I mean, it's a niche, and it's not every single day that you go and invest in property. Remember, property, you need money. So what I'm doing is when I've got my profits, then I use that money to go and reinvest it in other things.
Wow.
And obviously, there's the bank as well. But in a nutshell, I really think people must be diverse, but don't do too many things as well, so that you have a focus. So focus is very important.
Okay, I know. That is proper. Now, tell me about your life in church now.
Okay.
You becoming a pastor, what you do, how did you become a pastor in the first place? How did it happen and stuff?
You're actually the first person to interview me under the umbrella of pastoring.
I want to know.
Like I said, it took a few men and women of God. I believe they've been praying for me for many years. And obviously, I've kind of been a pastor for a long time, but not necessarily ordained. So it took our pastor to approach and say, look, you are a pastor as well, and we really want to ordain you. And obviously, this was something that I received when I was praying for you. So even with them, it's not something that he just woke up, and, So that's how the journey began.
Then now you are like, how do you stand in front of a congregation? Oh Jesus! How do you do that?
I say she could tell me preach to like on a formal level, but I do teach some classes at church. So I do stand because I it's just in my blood. The Holy Spirit just does all the talking. To be honest, I can't even take the credit. I can't take the credit. I believe he tells me what to do, even in business. I don't just move. That's why, I don't know. I don't just move with the wind.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm led by the Holy Spirit. If it doesn't make sense, if God says I shouldn't, I don't.
Nah,
Yeah,
you just live it.
I just leave it, and then, I pace myself.
Wow. Okay. I know that is definitely proper. So yeah, I think we've reached the end of this podcast. Now, I want you to motivate someone who's still in their early stages of their career and they wanna spread out and go diverse and actually make it in life and make more money, because it's only money that we want. But anyways, what would you say to them?
Look, I think first of all, it depends on your faith. For me, like I said before, even when I was still lost, I still had faith because I grew up in a house that we still went to church. So the foundation of knowing that there's a God that exists and studying the Bible for me has always been my root. And the second option, another pointer to also say, as a human being, you know your strength and your weaknesses. You know what you like and what you don't. So my advice is, first of all, don't be pressured and have peer pressure, because that's where the problem starts. And you really only have one life to live. So if you are somebody that just does decisions because your friends or others are saying go there and there, you end up necessarily being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And it starts right there, because your journey, it's not something that you can, just build overnight. So I always say, find somebody that's an inspiration that you look up to. Like, for example, if you want to be a medical doctor, you need to find one or two doctors that inspire you and see if you can get close to them. Some you can't get close to them physically, but it could be online. Like I said, I watched a lot of TV. So there was somebody that really, really inspired me. I said, when I grow up, I want to be like that person. And I started studying what is it that they do, how they conducted themselves, how do they carry themselves, especially if you're a female. But in general, like, show up, and if you say you're going to do something, you must really do it. And try and be somebody that does not start things and not finish, because sometimes we chase the money so much. The money will definitely come, and once it comes, you will enjoy it. But if you're not money educated as well, you will blow it overnight. I mean, studying this is a new business, so meaning the money of the business is not yet that strong, like others out there. But focus is not the money. Focus for me, it's always about service. If I'm able to provide my client a service that is exceptional, they will call me back, and naturally I get referred. So I'm not moved by money. I'm moved by what I offer, and if what I'm offering you is good quality, the money will come anyway. So
Wow. Okay, that is proper. That is words from Motsoka right here next to me, and those are very great words. And I believe someone out there actually learned a lot from this podcast, saying just because you are a person of God doesn't mean you must not spread out and just keep on doing the Bible and stuff. There's other ventures out there that you should just spread out into and actually learn them. Bona, thank you so much for coming to this podcast, and I wish you all the best on this. And definitely after this, we're gonna have a young meeting about some technical things and everything. Productions, media can come into play and stuff like that. And maybe we don't know where we can go with this, and maybe we can help you out, maybe on the digital content, the social media marketing and stuff like that. So to you, cheers, bye, and ciao.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I had fun. Thank you.
Danko.
Authentic Reflections with Lisecha Senosha.